What's up, guys? It's your boy, Cyrex. We're back with the Freak Show. It's episode 31. And I got a special guest with us right now. Let's all put our hands together. You're probably not actually doing it, but still, in our minds, put our hands together for Andrea.
Oh, I want to clap. Fuck.
Yeah, clap at yourself. That's what's up.
I just spilled wine on myself, guys.
That's all good.
This is how it's going right now.
Yo, we out here. We on the porch. We sipping wine. Let's see. We sipping that Trader Joe's White Zinfandel. Wait, what is it? Yes,
White Zinfandel.
Yeah, it's Charles Shaw Blend White Zinfandel.
Yeah.
So we out here.
This is my favorite one.
Is your favorite?
Yeah. I can't do like anything else. Moscato, too sweet. Chardonnay, too bitter.
I enjoy some Moscato. My favorite thus far, honestly, has been Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio?
Mm-hmm.
Pinot Grigio is good. I like red wines too, though, once in a while. Feels pretty good, but extra fancy.
Alright, tell me about your favorite wines.
My favorite wines? Damn, I don't really drink wines like that. I'm more of a beer person.
Same, definitely same here.
Beer?
Same here now. I mean, y'all already know how it goes with me. I mean, I'm very basic with it. I like some Natty Ice sometimes. Natty Ice is very hydrating. It's so watery that it's hydrating.
Oh my god, I don't know. It brings back so much memories. I used to drink this shit all the time when I was
5.9% though. For that price, you can't beat that.
That's true though. That's so true. But like, the thing with beers is that's why I like having that one beer that's strong that I can have like just a cup or two.
Okay.
And then just feel like good.
And what's your preference with that?
Golden Monkey.
Okay. What's Golden Monkey's percentage?
10%.
10%, y'all.
10% on that shit, bro.
Alright, so anybody who drinks Golden Monkey, please do comment. And if you have any stories of you just getting messed up on some Golden Monkey, please do tell. You know, we a community out here, so I definitely want y'all to give your feedback and just talk about how you rock with this. I would not rest that on that glass and let go though.
No. I was not planning on doing that.
Okay, that's good.
No, I was just trying to check my watch.
Because we already lost a bottle today.
Oh, yeah.
It was a brave trooper, but I mean, it didn't get to perform.
It had potential.
It really did.
It had potential. I think you should drink up.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yo, we gonna toast right now?
Okay.
To Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night.
To Sunday night, to the Freak Show, to the 7/8, to the whole 786. Whether you're in Kendall, whether you're in the city, whether you're up in Miami Gardens, whether you're down in Homestead, we rock with you. Alright?
So, another good beer is, I tried this when I went to Epcot, actually. And I want to drink it around the world.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then this beer is from Canada. I think it's called La Fine du Monde or some shit like that.
La Fine du Monde. Okay. Sounds real fancy.
I'm not sure how much percentage it has. I think it has like 9 point something. 9.5 maybe? But for some reason, every time we started there, we would just like chug one.
I see.
You chug one and then you get like a buzz. Oh, you look so cute.
This is my favorite t-shirt dress.
You look so cute.
So comfy, bro. And it's so cotton on. Knows what the fuck they're doing.
Y'all, please give a warm welcome to your guest co-host, Liann.
That's not a bitch.
Y'all already know Liann. It's been a few episodes since you've been on here.
It's been a few episodes, yes it has.
Can I put on the
Yep, you know where the bathroom is.
The shoes right behind you, girl.
Oh, never mind. I thought
So,
that was it.
this La Fine du Monde comes from
Oh, you
a
know
brewery
about that
called
beer.
Unibrow.
That's what the
Okay.
So, Unibrow is a brewery in Chambly. I don't know how to pronounce that. Chambly, I guess, in Quebec. So, shout out to all my Canadians. Yeah, she's
If
just.
you go to fucking Epcot in Orlando, that's if you go
Yeah,
to
she was just
Epcot in
talking about
general. Or did she tell you to go right first? Go to
No.
Canada first? Fuck, Andrea.
I think she had
Because Mexico is to the left, and you don't want to start out with tequila. That's a quick downhill.
What do you
them
mean you
shits
don't want to
add
start
up.
out? Liquor before beer.
No, because starting out with that fucking tequila, you're gonna die either way. It doesn't matter. I don't know why people say liquor before beer in the clear. If you
Because
drink
I've
enough,
had liquor before beer and I've been in the clear.
if you drink enough alcohol, it does not matter.
Okay, fair enough. That is a point that I cannot refute, ladies and gentlemen.
Like I was saying, if you go to Epcot, go right first and go to Canada. This is just what I've been told. I've only gone once. First thing you're gonna have is Fille du Monde. There's some other goose beer or something like it was called. Not Goose Island. It was like some weird name.
Don de Dieu?
No.
Maudite?
No.
Blanche de
It
Chablis?
was none of the beers from that company.
Never mind then.
You sound like one of the characters from Beauty and the Beast. Oh.
Beauty and the Beast was set in France, right? Belle, that's a French name.
It's also what's in a tower. A bell.
You know, like Gabrielle. Gabrielle is a French name. Like, matter of fact, let me see actually where my own name comes from, because I do know that the female version. Okay, so my name is Hebrew, but the female, one of the female versions of my name, which would be Emmanuel, does come from French origin, or at least has a French suffix.
Sorry, that was really funny.
Okay.
But yeah, Epcot's great.
Apparently Epcot's great, y'all. I per se have not, or not per se, I myself have not been. I've only been to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. Never been to MGM, never been to Epcot. MGM is actually the studio that ran the majority of the actual Little Rascals shorts. You remember we had a few of those videos? Not so much?
Hmm?
Little Rascals?
I remember the Little Rascals.
Yeah. Like, that stuff was from the first era of Little Rascals. They didn't even have sound. Right?
That's crazy. The fuck did you...
It was all silent pictures, so they would basically, you would see a scene, then they would cut to the, you know, to the dialogue. That must have been difficult. It must have been difficult to watch a movie back then.
If you're deaf.
No, if you're deaf, it must have been golden. If you're
Right.
blind, it must have been trash.
If someone takes you to the movies and you're blind, they're just an asshole. I probably would do that to one of my friends. Guess where we are? In the world. Fuck, man, did you take me to the movies again?
The thing is that, like, what I mean, I'm sure blind people, I'm sure they enjoy movies in some way, shape, or form. They have to at least enjoy the dialogue, right? Okay. All right. So, let's see. So, y'all, I've been watching this little inflammatory channel. Now, I'm not going to name this person because there's no point in giving them shine. But basically, when I first saw their videos, what I was doing, I was looking for Mr. Red Braids. I was looking for the video of him, you know, like I mentioned in episode 30. I was looking for the video of, I was looking for somebody talking about him and his whole debacle with Joe Budden.
Huh? Oh, it's not 3/4 sleeve. I guess it's long sleeve.
Yeah.
So the I'm not gonna say MC. I'm not gonna call him MC. Yeah, right.
Really? No.
The artist in question, he was basically
Like,
on
he
stage,
looks like
you know, with the whole
Donald
"fuck
Trump.
Joe Budden."
It finally does. You know that, right? Oh, sorry.
Y'all are probably, at least at this point, y'all are probably gonna pay attention to the background
Let me get
because, I
more
mean, let's be real with it. Boobs are way more
Let me get
important,
his
way
first
more
second.
entertaining than rappers with red braids. Let's just be
Okay,
real
wait.
with ourselves.
Do you guys by any chance have like a bag that I could put the shit in?
Can you bring her the Trader Joe's bag that the wine was in? I'll hold on to the phone. Where are you recording from? No, don't stop. Oh, I got it. Let me talk to the people. Gimme. Come on. The people love me. All right. So.
Source will help you. If you play music again, and
I'm
give
not
me a
gonna
DMCA,
play any music. A DM what?
A DMCA.
What's that?
It's a violation. Copyright.
It's fucking stupid. Music is music, bro. Share it for the world. All right. Our next topic. Niggas ain't a goddamn thing. Can I get an amen, ladies? Jesus Christ. I think this has been the biggest year of L's.
Oh, that was quick.
That was really quick. Well, this is the biggest years of L's I've taken when it comes to men. Man, why are you guys so trash?
Literally, why?
Like, why do you treat a girl like you're dating and then say, oh, but I don't want a girlfriend? So, like, you know, you want her to stay over because, you know, you sleep better when she's there. You want to, on your time off, you want to spend it only with her. But you don't want to date her. Take that stupid ass. Fucking, I hate niggas, bro.
Well,
and
then.
for all you fucking best friends out there, how would you... Okay, this is a question for the audience. If your friend really fucked a girl over and she hates his guts and he hates her guts and they just don't talk anymore, would you try to date that girl? Would you go and try with that girl?
Oh my god, what happened?
I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Please do comment your responses, and we welcome all genders' responses to that question because this is not a one-sided issue for sure.
Andrea and I are going to be leaving jailhouse soon, so good night to everyone except for men.
Remember, people, that we are not exactly 100% logical. But in any case,
do you want to call them out?
as far as things like that go, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for just a moment.
I feel like he's gonna say something over here.
Oh, I am. All right.
But you know what? Let me say something for
Okay.
females ain't shit either.
Yeah, they're not.
Girls are not
I don't
a goddamn thing.
I don't necessarily feel this way.
I see videos on Twitters of girls really going out of their way to cheat on their nigga, like arguing with their nigga when they get caught. And I'm like, bro, if you get caught cheating, we're just, all right, you caught me, bro. You caught me. You know?
But y'all remember Kevin Hart.
But don't argue with them saying you weren't cheating.
I saw you with her. Well, you want to put the microwave on? You put the microwave on all the way high?
Like, that's a cute chicken.
Y'all remember Kevin Hart? Look, I'm not necessarily saying that I do agree with this, but I have seen, people have given me this perspective.
You have a metal booger in your nose, yes. That's what I call my piercing. Because people are always like, Liann, you have something in your nose, and I'm like, it's always there. It's my piercing. Or sometimes I'll walk around like.
What? I cannot do that in public. Oh, like that. Okay.
Or.
I thought you meant like picking your nose. I was like, I can't do that in a restaurant.
I was like fully play it. I don't know. It feels good to play with it.
It does.
Like this? Oh man.
I just ordered from eBay like a set of studs.
I want hoops.
Studs and hoops. I have a black one, a silver one, a rose gold, a gold, and like a holographic one.
Ooh.
It was for like
eBay? There's a set of brushes on eBay. Like I watch a lot of videos, So there's a set of brushes on eBay that I want to get. They're mainly blending brushes. Because you can never have too many fucking, and literally under they're like $2 fucking. I have to find the link again.
It's not for me. It's just that I'm obsessed with Amazon Prime. If it can come to me in 2 days.
eBay has really great lashes.
No, bro. I just
Bro,
wanted to
those lashes that I wear all the time, those thick ones.
Here's my problem. I'm impatient. I can't wait that long. If I have a promise that it will come to me in 2 days, oh my god, wonderful. So this is why I'm spending a lot of money on Amazon Prime. Shout out to Amazon
I'm gonna start telling you to order me. I'm gonna need you to order me a case.
Huh?
I'm gonna need you to order me a case. I'm gonna start giving you money because if you have Amazon Prime, like I have Amazon Prime. Because I have HBO. You have HBO.
I do have HBO.
You know Delano has it, right?
I do. I'm the one who has it.
I have HBO
I
too.
pay $15 a month for it. I swear to God.
So
Don't ask me for my password. I'm the one who has it on the TV. The reason I watch Game of Thrones because I wanted to get HBO because I wanted to watch Game of Thrones. So I decided to pay $15 a month for it.
For HBO?
How much?
I'm saying Amazon.
Bro, why didn't you just... should have just asked me.
No, I said Amazon.
Oh. Are you saying we have Amazon Prime?
Yeah, he has it.
Never mind then.
Yeah, he was able to give me a cheaper price on my new hard drive.
I love Amazon, bro. Amazon's a shit.
I mean,
Alright,
he certainly
Liann,
treated us better
drink up
than.
because he's
the other thing.
5 minutes away.
Okay.
All right, so I suppose while I do still have y'all here, I wanted to ask y'all about what have y'all, as far as music, been listening to lately?
I've been listening to a lot of Lana Del Rey, honestly. Like a lot of 2012, 2014 Lana.
Spanish
So what
rap.
album?
Let me see.
The Born to Die album?
Yeah, look at my friend's pen for her business.
That's really nice. Give me one of those. It matches your nail polish.
Such a
Born
nice
to Die, and also.
Oh, I love Born to Die. That's such a nice
I've been listening to some Childish Gambino, Black
Ooh,
Bear.
which Childish Gambino?
The song I've been like really listening to is Flight of the Navigator.
Really?
Yeah, and Black Bear, the song I Needed You.
I like Black Bear.
Mansions, Gorgeous. Really good
Mansions?
song.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
that.
Really good. Jaden Smith also. This was another one. I wasn't sure I liked the song, but I really liked it. Jeff Burnett, Miss Seductive. That was a really good song. I didn't know.
What genre is that?
I don't know what genre it would appear in.
If you go
Or
under
R&B and soul.
Okay.
Thank
You
you.
didn't even work here.
All right. And what about you, Andrea? Music.
Spanish trap.
Spanish trap? Okay, so like the J Balvin fellow?
Honestly, I know a lot of people don't like them, but I like that buddy.
The that one, what's that big one? That that
That's
big
all
single.
Gente?
Yeah.
That's J Balvin.
I
Beyonce.
hate the sample. The voice sample that they use in that, I hate it. I was just talking to Elsie about that because he appeared at that concert we went to. We went to the Somos Una Voz concert at Dolphin Stadium. Not Dolphin, Marlins Stadium. Marlins Park. They had Mark Anthony was there. It was the Puerto Rico benefit.
I would love to see Juanes and like Aventura and
Tengo la camisa.
Yo, Romeo was there.
Tengo el alma.
Romeo was there.
Romeo, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to listen to a song. Romeo, my
Yeah, he was there. There was one set of people. It was one set of performers in Miami and the other set in LA. So like J Lo and Mary J. Blige were in LA, and DJ Khaled, Mark Anthony, and Romeo and J Balvin, a few others were here. So like you had Busta, and Busta was doing his little look at me now, but it's like he didn't do it all. Like he was letting himself run out of breath, so he didn't really do the verse for real. Like I feel like had he prepared himself, he could have done it. But I guess he wasn't expecting it.
Bitch, we're outside.
Can you do us away?
Yeah, just.
I wish we could wear all black like you guys. I'm gonna apply at BJ's when I'm good. Really?
All right, Sean. So the rest of the episode is gonna continue with just me. So I want to address briefly this inflammatory tweet by the celebrity in chief. Now, it's a tweet directed at the leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, also known as North Korea. So let's take a look. Now, the tweet says, I'm going to read it. Why would the leader of this country insult me by calling me old when I would never call him short or fat? Are we sure about that? I can't prove that this has happened, but I'm pretty sure it's happened. Then he says, Oh well, I try so hard to be his friend. Maybe someday that will happen. Like, are we really in a hurry? Are we really in a hurry to be like allies with the country that's been trashing us for the entire time that they've been an independent nation? I don't look, I'm all for unity and all, but I mean, I don't know if I'm down for that. Just saying. Look, let's go into a brief history lesson about this. Now, okay, wow. So this is stuff that I don't even know. This is going to be a good lesson. Alright, so Korea emerged as a single political entity in 676, the year 676, Common Era, after centuries of conflict amongst the three kingdoms of Korea. Now, let's look up what the three kingdoms of Korea were exactly. It was Baekje, Silla, and Goguryeo. Oh, okay, so that's how they were derived. Korea. Korea. Alright. There's a fourth one there that looks like Gaia. Okay, and this is around the time that Japan was going by its earliest known name, the earliest name that we know historically, which was Wa. This was around the time of Himiko, the princess, the shaman princess. So let's take a look. It was tribal states. Okay, there were 78 tribal states. But then from 57 BC to 66. From 57 BCE to 668 CE, there were 78 tribal states in the northern area, basically, and Manchuria and all that. The Korean Peninsula, and were entirely occupied by the three kingdoms, and also most of Manchuria, which I remember. Okay, so Manchuria is basically, it's a large geographic region, and basically depending on who you are, depending on the context, it can be seen as a large region between China and Russia, or just China. Northeast China, which I see as Dongbei. Yeah. So, basically, they were the unified Silla to the south and then Balhae to the north for a time. Goryeo succeeded Goguryeo, and that defeated the two other states to unite the peninsula. Oh, that was a later three kingdoms. Wow, there is quite a bit of history associated with this. Wow, this goes from the later three kingdoms goes from 892 to 936. But this was before that. This was before Goryeo. So, let's see. By a certain time, they developed something called an exonym. Okay, that's an external name for a geographic place of Korea, derived from Goryeo, Korea. So it was a highly cultured state that was the most, created the first metal movable type in 1234. Okay. So, let's see. They do have a modern alphabet that was created in the 15th century with the increasing influence of Confucianism. and after the First Sino-Japanese War, the Korean Empire tried to modernize. I'm basically really jumping through this, so forgive me, any of my Korean fans or just globalist fans, any listeners, because I am really just, getting straight to it. So, basically, this whole thing was ruled by Imperial Japan from 1910 all the way to 1945, after the unconditional surrender of Japan in World War II. From 1945, we, as the United States and the Soviet Union, we agreed on their surrender of the Japanese forces. And so we partitioned Korea between us and the Soviets on the 38th parallel, so it's like 38 degrees north. Now, the north was under Soviet occupation, the south under U.S. occupation, and it seems like nobody could really agree on Korean independence. So the communist-inspired government in the north received backing from the Soviets, and of course the South, pro-Western, received backing from the U.S., and that seemingly made a permanent split between the two. So we have the Republic of Korea, which is South Korea. We have the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, North Korea. As I used to say back in senior year, that name's full of lies. Are they democratic? Are they for the people? Are they really a republic? You tell me in the comments. So let's see here. With involvement from reform. Okay. So basically, these whole tensions, as we know, resulted in the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. Fucking 3-year war, y'all. So, wow, each country contends that they are the sole legitimate government of all of Korea and refuse to recognize the other. Isn't that crazy? It's the same as how China refuses to recognize Taiwan. They consider Taiwanese people Chinese citizens. They consider them Chinese people. So, and think about also the full names, like the legal names, the full names of those two nations too. What we call China is the People's Republic of China. What we call Taiwan is the Republic of China. Now, if that has changed since then, yeah, it hasn't. So that's kind of interesting, isn't it? So, basically, for their entire history, they've had 3 leaders, by the way. They've had the great leader, the dear leader, and the new leader. I don't know what their pet name for him is. But basically, we've been at odds with them. It's just been a mutual dislike ever since then. Because the people who, actually fought in that war, of course they oppose the North Korean government. And ever since then, all we've seen is, the people from that generation telling us to hell with North Korea, and the people from North Korea basically indicating to us that hell with the United States. So what are we supposed to think, right? Now, as I mentioned in a later episode, there have been these belligerent missile notions, basically. So, whether that's a reality or not does it remain to be seen? I don't think so. I think I maybe just haven't been catching up or keeping up. To tell you the truth, I'm a little right now. So now I do remember the celebrity in chief referring to Japan to have some kind of responsibility with intercepting and basically serving as a benevolent ally. Benevolent ally is redundant. Serving as an ally to the United States in terms of the belligerent missiles. He apparently held them accountable for disarming them in some way. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if you try to disarm me, it might be war, right? Most countries, if you try to disarm them, it's war, right? Do we really think that Japan wants any of that? I don't think they do. I think they can handle it, but that doesn't mean they will. You know, just because you're ready for war doesn't mean you're down. Doesn't mean you want to go to war tomorrow, right? Of course not. So, we shall see what happens with this. As for this inflammatory tweet, I mean, let's be real. Either Celebrity in Chief was always trying to be the North Korean leader's friend, or he was never trying to be his friend. Let's keep it all the way a buck. Okay? So, I guess we will see what's going to happen with that. Hopefully, the show can go on, because if the show can go on, that's certainly some kind of indication of the fact that we're all safe, right? And that's certainly what we want. Alright, y'all, one sec. So, one of my newest favorite albums lately. I checked out Big K.R.I.T's album, Forever is a Mighty Long Time. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. Now, this isn't going to be like this probably isn't going to be like a full analysis. It's probably just going to be like a rundown kind of. But, whoa, did Big K.R.I.T put together a fantastic album. Like, I'm going to be entirely honest. I kind of slept on Big K.R.I.T. I've known, a couple of his verses here and there, like from the 2011 Cypher, with, it was him, then Tech 9, then MGK, then Kendrick Lamar, and then B.O.B. Now, the reason for putting B.O.B. at the end, other than him being the biggest star of them, I can't think of. Because, I know that at the time it was 2011, so we're talking about Return of Forever was out. All 6s and 7s may have been out. I don't think that Lace Up was out. I think that Half Naked and Almost Famous, the EP, was out. And Section 80 had to have been out. I'm pretty sure it was. Versus B.O.B. at the time, he already had The Adventures of Bobby Ray. Let's actually get proper context. His given name is Bobby Ray. His Bobby Ray Simmons Jr., his legal name. I was expecting Robert or something like that, but okay. He was born in Winston-Salem. So, he's at least originally from he was born in the area where, where Little Brother's from. Where Little Brother was at least based. So check it out. Strange Clouds should have already been out. Because we're talking about the ciphers, it's the BET Hip Hop Awards. It's in October, right? Let's see, BET Hip Hop Awards. So let's see, 2011. Yeah, October 11th. And my understanding is, the ciphers are live. That's my understanding. They could be recorded. And let's take a look. Wow. So that goodness. The BET Hip Hop Awards for 2011 was also Heavy D's final performance. Final live performance and his final televised performance. Also his first televised performance in 15 years and his last televised appearance. Before his passing of a pulmonary embolism. So rest in peace to Heavy D. Now they had an internet cipher. They had an internet cipher with XV and J Rock. Wow, and also Gilbert Forte. Yeah, I guess so. It's a little confusing as to what exactly he is. And then Chris Sutton. There were two internet exclusive ciphers. The second one included Terminology, Mike Epps, and French Montana. That's where you lost me. I'd rather listen to Mike Epps rap. But whatever. So basically that was the extent of much of what I heard from K.R.I.T. But then my boy Regino, shout out to Regino, he had tried to put me on to I don't know, I'd say he'd put me on to Big K.R.I.T's Forever in a Day. That was the mixtape that he dropped in anticipation of Live from the Underground, his first studio album from Def Jam Records, the Cinematic Music Group. Now, I didn't really listen to Live from the Underground. I didn't really listen to anything before. I listened to some songs from K.R.I.T. Was Here. Didn't really get into Return to Forever. Listened to Forever in a Day. I thought that one was good, but I didn't stick with it. Like, I feel like I could have. The thing was, I don't know if I was. Like, I don't know if I was dealing with Okay, we got another plane. How is it that every time I'm recording an episode, a plane has to pass by? How are we certain that this is even on their route? Come on, whatever. So we're talking about Forever in a Day, and I mean, I thought it was good. To this day, I think it's good. It's just that, I didn't stick with it. It was me, really, that was the problem with that. I just had I wasn't used to K.R.I.T. enough to listen to him for an entire project of just him. So my understanding is that he is the sole producer. Yeah, it seems like he was the sole producer. So to hear a whole project of just him, it was a little daunting. I could listen to it. Forever and a day, forever and a day. That the theme. Miss You Like Yesterday. Oh. Wake Up. Me and My Old School. Believe Red Eye. I believed I liked Red Eye. But whatever. Let's go back to, I'll be honest. I did start to get into King Remembered in Time. The only song that I was really into was Life is a Gamble. Where is that one? Life is a gamble. So be careful when you shake it up. Yo, when I first heard that song, you hear this little sample. Life is a gamble. And then BJ the Chicago Kid just comes out of nowhere. So be careful when you shake it up. I'm like, whoa. Yo, I wasn't ready. Like, you can't. So yeah, that's one of those things that like you gotta take Chris seriously, because again, Life is a Gamble was a Ninth Wonder beat too. No wonder I like that one so much. I love me some Ninth Wonder. Once again, shout out to Little Brother. So here we have Forever is a Mighty Long Time. And let's run down through it just briefly. So check this out. We have the track Big K.R.I.T, which when I first heard it, I was, he's coming on like some spoken word shit. I'm just like, all right, do your shit, K.R.I.T. And then the beat comes in and he's just like going even harder. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So of course I had to keep going. Confetti was tight. Big Bank was tight, and like, he was trying some new stuff. T.I. was trying some, and it was like kind of, Forever and a Day theme-ish. It was kind of like reminiscent of that song, but also kind of like about the money. Like, remember that song by T.I. Young Thug? It was kind of like that too. Then Subbenstein, which is pretty similar. This album flows so well. It's like you can't even keep up. Like, if you're not looking at the track list, you're not going to keep up with what song you're on, because it flows that well. It's like you're gonna know it's a different song, but it's like you're gonna think you're like on track 4, because things flowed so well. You're gonna think that you're on track 4 and you're on like track 8. It's like that, and you don't even care about the amount of time. This is a double album, y'all. This is a double album. Disc 1 is Big K.R.I.T. Disc 2 is Justin Scott. And Justin Scott, of course, is Big K.R.I.T.'s real name, Big K.R.I.T.'s government name. Now, these are both 11 tracks. So it's one full album of 84 minutes and 48 seconds. That is an hour, 24 minutes and 48 seconds. So maybe it's also the fact that 124 is definitely something lucky for me. Yep. Date of birth and all. So after Subbenstein, we have this track called 1999, which features Lloyd. Now, I never really got deep into Lloyd's discography, but I've always enjoyed like his singles and stuff like that. Get It Shorty was nice. Southside is a classic. With Ashanti, that duet, that is a classic. And of course, You, which is one of the best Lil Wayne features ever. Like, that was one of those songs that was probably song of the summer for 2006 or 7. It was 2007. I think that was probably song of the summer, because that was just one of those songs that like you find yourself knowing. It's like, whoa, I know this whole thing. Like, you just want to hear it. You just want to recite it. So shout out to Lloyd and Lil Wayne for You, because that was just a. And look at that. Both Subbenstein, not solely Subbenstein, but 1999 was also produced by Manny Fresh. Look at that. And Subbenstein is produced by Manny Fresh, Super Mario, and Brian Michael Cox. Now, Brian Michael Cox been in this game forever, y'all. Oh, look at that. He was born in Miami. That's cool. And wow, longest consecutive period of chart success. After spending over 5 years on the Billboard chart continuously, he broke the record held by the Beatles. See, that's what happens when you're a producer and you're a songwriter. That's what happens. You break records. So I got to give a shout out to Brian Michael Cox too, for sure. Definitely wrote a bunch of, just contributed to overall numerous respectable tracks. So 1999 is a great song. You know, that back that ass up like it's 1999. That's the only, that line I think is a little cheesy, but the rest is dope. That song, like, Lloyd just sounds so good on it. K.R.I.T sounds so good on it. I'm like, oh, it's tight. It's real tight. Then we have Ride With Me. Now, Ride With Me was a special one because we have production by Organized Noise, particularly Raymond Murray and Rico Wade. I don't see Sleepy Brown credited here. And we have a feature. We have a hook by the late great Pimp C, rest in peace, Chad Butler. And the opening verse, you know, how you in this era, you're not gonna get a Pimp C feat. Well, someone did, but outside of that, you know, like a genuine, you know, it works feature from Pimp C without Bernard Freeman, Bun B. Come on, Bun B, Bun B is one of the tightest MCs of all time. He has one of the best flows of all, probably top 25 flows of all time. Probably top 30 or 40 lyricists all time. Like, he's just something else. Like, as far as Houston, well, then again, he's not per se from Houston. He's from Port Arthur. As far as Texas artists, he's probably my favorite. As far as Texas artists, I can't think of anybody else outside. Like, well, you know, most of Brockhampton, if not all of Brockhampton, is from Houston. But outside of them, it's Bun B. That's the champion. You know, more so than Slim, more so than Mike Jones, more so than Paul Wall, more so than Chamillionaire. Just dope. And so that mean Ride With Me's a tight song. Get Up to Come Down. Yo, CeeLo rapping. I was never much into Goody Mob. I think I know like one Goody Mob song, to be quite honest with y'all. So CeeLo rapping, that was a surprise. I didn't see it coming, but it was very welcomed, for sure. So that's a tight song. Layup, looking like a layup, man. Yo, Layup was tight. That's one of those, like, you know, you've been working so hard, but then this is one of those things that this is kind of easy. This is just gonna be a layup, and he produced it. So this one's just K.R.I.T, aside from any sample, and no sample, so just K.R.I.T. Then we have the classic interlude. Now, the classic interlude was kind of funny because it's really just a minute, but you have two guys going back and forth. And so one of them, he's talking about, wow, this is 14 tracks. That's a classic. Now, he's just spouting that's a classic. We basically talking about this, like, this era where they want to call something a classic, like, right when it comes out. Which, I mean, you know, heads, like real serious hip hop heads, that doesn't make sense. If it's a classic, like, the reason we call it a classic is because it's been a few years since it came out, but it's still resonating. That's a classic. Otherwise, it's just a hit album. It's just a hot album. So I remember there was a YouTube video. I forgot what it was. It may have been Company Man. It may have been Justin. It may have been Murs on the breakdown for Hip Hop DX. I don't remember. But shout out to both of them because they're doing good work. And I don't even remember. But no, I fully support this system of holding off on calling things a classic. I don't care about the fact that, the terms of longevity have changed, the fact that this is kind of an ADHD era, kind of an attention deficit era. I don't care about all that. The fact remains that, you call something a classic because it's been out for a while. It doesn't make sense to call something new a classic. That just doesn't work. So, basically, they're going back and forth. Basically, one of the guys talking about this is a classic. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to the lyrics too, because this interlude is also on Genius. So let's see, classic interlude, and I'll even do the parts for you. So he says 14 tracks, it's a classic. Now, people on Genius were saying that this might be about Damn, because Damn was crowned as a classic by the younger generation the same day it dropped, even though a bunch of people had not even listened to the entire thing. Now, it's alleged that at the end of the skit, there's an artist name that's bleeped out that does kind of sound like Kendrick. I didn't hear that. I did listen to it even when I read that. It didn't sound like Kendrick. It didn't sound like anything, really. So he says it's 14 tracks, it's a classic. And the guy says, what, so? So it's got 14 skits. How the fuck you got 14 skits and 14 tracks, nigga? I don't know, it's a classic. Listen to me. Well, I'm listening. Listen to me. I'm listening. The hood jam to it. What is it? It's a classic. That doesn't mean anything. So then he goes on to say, "Bruh, you live in a cul-de-sac. So how you know what the hood's jamming to? You live in a cul-de-sac." Which, I mean, I'll be super real. This is why I feel out of touch sometimes, because I live in what's kind of a cul-de-sac. This ain't no hood. So, man, families. I don't really have people here to talk about, what the jams are and what what's going on in hip hop. So classic. Then it got a barcode. So apparently a barcode makes something a classic. Then he said hate don't look good on it because that's what I hate about this era that we're in, is the fact that you can't give anything criticism without people thinking that you're hating. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous notion. And I'm sure I've stated this in earlier episodes, that it is a ridiculous notion to assume that just because somebody doesn't agree with your point of view, that you're hating. And this is kind of echoed in this video that I recently shared. It's a video actually that I shared last year, right after the election. It was this British TV host. I don't even know his name, honestly. I'd like to give him props for his speech, but he's getting ready, and meanwhile the camera's on him, and he's not surprised that Trump won because Hillary offered no palpable change, and because the left, which I am, I certainly identify as part of the left. I'm liberal. I'm a Democrat. The left, as a whole, not every last individual on the left, but the left as a whole, was basically, we didn't seem to want to make arguments anymore. We seem to just want to vilify people who weren't in alignment with us. And that even kind of made me think about, well, have I been doing that? Because there was a time where I'd say that I was a little inflammatory. I wasn't really giving people a chance to speak, but since then, I'd say, I have definitely cut that shit out. But that doesn't mean that, once I let you speak your piece, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna shut down, bullshit. If you're spewing bullshit, I'm not gonna just shut you down. I'm gonna shut down that bullshit though. And I'm gonna just sit there with you and explain to you. I'm gonna see you through it. I'm gonna see you through you realizing that bullshit is bullshit. So we're gonna make this change together, right? Shouldn't we? I think we should. So, just the fact that we need to be able to discuss things. The fact that don't come through to me with no bullshit about hate. Hip hop is the most interesting thing in the world to talk about. Like, do y'all ever just talk about hip hop? It's so interesting. You could go on about hip hop forever. There is so much to go on about. I could legitimately talk about hip hop for days on end and not get tired. I might get tired of a particular topic within hip hop, but hip hop as a whole I could talk about for days. Days, y'all. So the notion that, you can't have a real discussion in hip hop because of that just makes me upset. It makes me upset because hip hop runs so deep. Hip hop culture and hip hop music, just everything about hip hop runs so deep that it doesn't make sense for anybody within the fandom, within the culture, to be narrow-minded. Whether you're narrow-minded about the 90s or narrow-minded about the 2010s or narrow-minded about any era in hip hop, there's no reason to be narrow-minded. There's so much shit going on. Immerse yourself. Learn. Talk to people. It's fun. It's so much fun. Like, when I'm learning about hip-hop, I don't mind going into the rabbit hole. There was one night, now, I don't know if this is hip-hop, but, E-Moneybags. E-Moneybags was a rapper. But he was also, kind of a gangster from Queens. And he was kind of at odds with Kenneth McGriff Preem. Everybody in New York at least knows about Supreme. This is the man who everybody has no doubt that this is the man who is responsible for E-Moneybags' hit, who's responsible for the 9 shots in 50 Cent. People link it to Ghetto Quran, who's responsible for the assassination of J Master J. Everybody knows. And rest in peace, J Master J. I would have loved to live in an era where I was all the way into hip hop and he was alive, but unfortunately I was too late. I was 9. Really got into it when I was, I think I was already like 9 and 10 when I was really getting into it. So, basically what I'm trying to establish here, I went into that rabbit hole. I wanted to know so much about it. I wanted to know how Jay and Bleak related to this. I wanted to know what happened. What I found out, I would say, was not per se hip hop. It was just street shit. So I won't really go into it here because this is not the channel for street shit. I'm going to say this right now, once and for all. This is not the channel for street shit. If there's street shit going on, if there's gangster shit, I'm not a gangster. I'm not a gangster. I'm not in the street. I'm not thugging. I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling soap. I'm not selling herbs. I'm not selling any of that shit. I'm not in that life. So this is not the channel for that. So if you want to talk about that as they say, that gang shit, which, by the way, why do you need to say gang shit? Why can't you just say gang shit? Like, whatever. If you're about that, this is not, if you're only about that, rather, this is not the channel for you. So, my pages, they do not involve gangster shit. None of that will ever be prominent. If it's touched on, it's touched on. Like I just touched on it, tiny bit. But no, this is not a gangster channel, by any means. The fact that I, was born and spent the first couple years of my life in Washington Heights, which at the time, I can't speak about it now, but at the time certainly was not a reputable neighborhood. That does not make me a part of that. And not to say that I'm above people who are in that, but just establishing once and for all, I don't do that shit. So what I do is I rap and I drink beer. I'm a rapper. That's it. Like I say in Real Raw, I ain't no gangster. I'm just a real raw rapper. I'm just a geek who goes about his life and just happens to be absolutely in love with hip hop culture and just rapping. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. And matter of fact, after this, you might get another freestyle, because we're probably gonna start doing some freestyles here. But I think I've gone on enough of a tangent from where I was just now. So, moving along. So then they say. Then he says can't be a classic. How can you say something is a classic if you haven't even started listening? You're not even listening to it yet. Which, that's irrefutable. Yet he still tries to refute it with, why are you yelling when I'm telling you this is a classic? I ain't yelling. Look, you ain't even listened to it yet. So he says, I ain't gonna argue about nothing. I'm about to leave you in angst. See, people get called angst. This is definitely a shot at people like... Now, I'm not saying Big K.R.I.T is taking a shot, but I'm just saying that he's trying to portray that immature mindset. And this is how immature fans react to the likes of Joe Budden and The Rap Critic and Dead End Hip Hop and me. And the such. Nori, Lord Jamar, Star, people like that, people who just aren't going to stand for the cheapening of the culture. So he leaves. Then a woman shows up. She says, hey, you heard that new boop album? And that's the beat that was alleged to be Kendrick. But I listened to it a couple times. It doesn't sound like anything. Like I can't make out a name from that. So then he concedes. This is the guy who's refuting that it was a classic. He seems to concede that, yeah, I heard that shit's a classic, right? And then she says, nah, that was whack. And then he, basically reveals his true colors. Like, no, you know what? Why am I fronting? Basically, it was trash. Now, the annotation for the track as a whole, I'm going to read it to you guys. In this humorous skit, K.R.I.T plays on the idea that new school fans are so quick to call projects classics. What's this segment been about? Or at least what's this tangent been about? In this skit, one guy even calls an album classic without even hearing the album. And then he convinced the other guy. Because people get hammered enough with hate, they back down. They don't want to be seen as a hater. They don't want to feel like a hater. So, this is something that Chris Rock says in an episode of Everybody Hates Chris. This was when he ran for, won, and quickly lost the student council presidency. He said, if enough people tell you you're wrong, you forget that you're right. This is exactly what's going on here. So let's take a look. Moving along from classic interlude, we have Oxcord. Oxcord was a great track, and DJ Khalil. That I was wondering, it was a really smooth track. It didn't have it didn't have the most going on, but it was a really smooth track, and it was produced by DJ Khalil. Now, DJ Khalil, he's known for those hip hop tracks that have those little elements of pop, those pop sensibilities and stuff like that. So, he's part of the duo Self Scientific with Chase Infinite. Now, I haven't heard much Chase Infinite, and he's also part of the New Royales. I don't know if you guys have heard much of the New Royales, but they have this. The New Royales is DJ Khalil doing DJing and production. Chin and Jetty also doing production, and he's also credited as a writer on Oxcord. So I think that's cool. And then we have the two singers songwriters, Liz Rodriguez and Eric Alcock. Now, Liz sang. They were credited as the New Royales, but she sang on The One by Slaughterhouse. This was produced by DJ Khalil. And the only one credited here as a writer for the song from the New Royales is DJ Khalil. The other four writers, of course, are the four members of Slaughterhouse. We have, if y'all remember that song, that's Sex and Drugs and Dirty Money. Your time is up now, 3, 2, 1. Now, I thought that was a dope song. I thought that was a dope single. I thought that all the references to rock were really cool. I'm reckless with lead. Zeppelin is dead. We have a dope verse from Crooked. Before that, we have a dope verse from Royce. And at the third verse was really interesting because Joe Budden and Joel Ortiz were going back and forth. I thought that was really cool. So, yeah, that's really cool there. So Oxcord, definitely a dope track. Get Away. Not gonna lie, things were going so smooth that I don't even really know how to discern Get Away from Justin Scott, which is the beginning of the next track, of course, top of the Justin Scott disc. Now, that one was basically instrumental. Mixed Messages was tight. That might be my favorite track. That, along with, that one, and then there's Keep the Devil Off. Keep the Devil Off was cool. Miss Georgiafornia with Joy. Now, Joy, I was hoping that Dead End Hip Hop would acknowledge this in their review of this album, but Joy actually sang the hook to, what was it? To Down. Was it Down? Let me find it. It's the first track off Run the Jewels 3. RTJ 3. Which honestly is an underrated album. Not enough people have been talking about that album this year. And I was saying, I honestly thought it's because people stop giving people don't stop. I feel like, let me get my thoughts together. Yeah, it is called Down. What I feel like is that a lot of people, it seems stop thinking about the new music in December, unless it's a big thing and it was announced and all that kind of stuff. For Your Eyes Only, I feel like that album could have had, more people should have been talking about that one. Do Without Wilt by Absol, more people certainly should have been talking about that. That's one of the best rides of 2016. In fact, I actually might go listen to that album in just a moment. That's just a great album. Like, people want to talk about, it doesn't measure up or whatever to Control System. I think that that is the album that These Days was supposed to be, but like enhanced. Like, he came up with even more and better ideas, and women were a heavy topic. They were a heavy topic on that album, and I mean, in just maybe one or two spots, it didn't work. But for the most part, it's a great album. It's a great album, and I love it. But anyway, December is just a weird time to release music. You have to be like that. You have to be that nigga. You have to be that nigga to drop in December. I don't see myself dropping, like, I would drop a song in December. I don't see myself dropping a full project in December unless there's circumstances that call for that. But anyway, she sings the hook on Miss Georgia Fournier too. Now, this is a song about like how K.R.I.T, how he was seen leaving Mississippi to go even to Atlanta and to LA. I see you moved to Georgia on your way to LA. And Beacon seems to have co-produced this with DJ Khalil. So shout out to DJ Khalil for having some great productions on this album. DJ Khalil he has never let me down. If I can, honestly, I would do a project with him. I would do a project with DJ Khalil. And if he wanted to bring in the New Royales to co-write a couple songs, do a couple hooks, bring in Liz or bring in Eric on a couple hooks, hell yeah. Bring in Chin to do some co-production, hell yeah. Absolutely, I would definitely do a project, whether it's with Khalil or with the New Royales. Absolutely. Then we have, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the next few tracks I'm not even that well versed in. So what I might do actually is I might just go straight into Justin Scott. But you guys get where I'm going. But basically, I feel like the assessments that Dead End Hip Hop made, they were extremely astute. Extremely astute. This was the album that is going to get you into Big K.R.I.T. This is the album that it meets that perfect world between the budget of a big album, but that intimacy and that care and diligence of a mixtape, of a Big K.R.I.T mixtape rather, because Big K.R.I.T doesn't make mixtapes the same way that mixtapes, they still have, it's still fuzzy. That the meaning of a mixtape is still very fuzzy. So some people still consider a mixtape to be this just mix of original and unoriginal beats. So then we have this mixtape where it's just an underground album, that's the type of mixtape that we're used to from Big K.R.I.T, where instead of Def Jam getting all in his business about how he's gonna go about the album, he just does it himself. But this time, he also mixed that big production budget too. It definitely worked for him. Willpower and Manny Fresh, Organized Noise, DJ Khalil, Super Mario. This guy appears a couple times. Super Mario, yeah, he does appear a couple times. He co-produced Subbenstein. basically the three of the four, these four, no, really the three of them, Big K.R.I.T, Manny Fresh, Will Power, and DJ Khalil. The four of them really produced the overwhelming majority of this album. And you know what? I agree with what Joe Budden said on Everyday Struggle. They should not have let him go from his contract or from his deal with this album. The fact that he got to release this album on his own with a new, with basically a business team that really, really rocks with him and really wants to see his vision. I mean, I congratulate him. I absolutely congratulate him. I'm happy for him. And I think that this album is great. I think that this is one of the best albums that I've heard this year. If not, I think it's top 5 for sure. Because we're talking albums I've heard this year that I've really stuck with. We're talking 2017 only. Let's see. I do like Damn. Okay, wait. 2017. Alright, so we're going to count Brockhampton Saturation 1 and 2 as one thing. So that's in there. You know what? We'll count them separately. Drive It Like It's Stolen by Injury Reserve. Layla's Wisdom by Rhapsody. And this album. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Damn, it's just I'm not going back to Damn like that. 444. So yeah, we count Brockhampton. We count those as one. But nah, I haven't gone to the bar exam enough. I haven't gone back to the bar exam anywhere near enough. I forgot about the Iceberg. Okay, 6. So we're talking 6. We're talking Brockhampton's Saturations 1 and 2 as one. We're talking 444. We're talking Layla's Wisdom. Drive It Like It's Stolen. What's it called? Forever's a Mighty Long Time. Iceberg. This has been technically Run the Jewels is credited as a 2017 release, even though many will call it a 2016 release. It's a 2017 release officially. So yeah, this is. People can talk their smack, but this has been a good. Oh my goodness, All American Badass 2. All American Badass was a great album. I haven't gone back to it in a little while, but when I was on it, especially For My People. That's my favorite. And also Ring the Alarm. So this has definitely been a solid year. Plus the fact that I've gotten really on my shit. So Free Rex won't be out in 2017. Sorry. But 2018, y'all better watch out. Y'all better watch out. And I'm not talking about Santa Claus, okay? So hold up. 2018 is gonna be the year of the dinosaur, yo. You already know what it is. So, I wanted to talk briefly also about, Mystic Joint been treating me well. I've been going to Mystic Joint for the past month or so, and they've been real good to me. A good crowd there, and it's so much fun just performing there. This past week, I went with Elsie, and it was a nice time. Check it out, y'all. So now, I did Good as Fuck because I haven't done Good as Fuck since my first time there. First time there, I did Good as Fuck and then stage. Next time, I'm pretty sure what I did was I did FM radio and stage. So then third time, that was not this past but last. So that was it was wide open mic. So I got to go up there. I got to do chill and stunt, go up and stage. It was nice. It was awesome. This time, 3 times in a row doing stage. No thanks then. So I did go up. Not go up. Silly me. I did good as fuck. And then Elsie had requested waiting. I asked her if she had any requests, and she told me waiting. She really likes it. So I was like, yeah, I'm down. I haven't done waiting in a little while. Waiting, actually, from as far as free samples goes, waiting was one of the only two, because I brought a nice set of 5 songs to this show that I did back in. I cannot believe that I didn't keep some of the money from that. I should have just kept some of it. But I did this show back in Midtown back in March, right before the end of the term at the call center. And what happened was I opened with FM radio, then Good as Fuck, then I'm pretty sure I did Chill and Stunt after that, or no, I think I did Waiting after that, and then Chill and Stunt, and then I closed out with Breaking Point. Yeah, Breaking Point's always fun. That was the only other song from Free Samples that I've done at all this year, and since then I haven't done either one until Friday, this past Friday. It was 11:10. It was essentially the Veterans Day show. So happy Veterans Day to all my peeps, all my veterans. Got a couple veterans in my family. Want to give a shout out to Ruben Garcia, my uncle. Been in the Army for the better part of my life. I also want to give a shout out to my cousins, Amber and Naomi Camacho. They have been serving in the Air Force for a couple of years now. I know we haven't had much contact, but just stay safe out there. And I love you both. I love all of you. This past week, actually, I wasn't even sure if I was going to talk about this in this episode, but since we're here now. A friend of mine, an airman, who also ended up becoming an airman later on. A friend of mine named Derek Jones, airman in JBER, Airman Air Force, U.S. Air Force. Lost his life during a training series basically that took place in South Korea, in a base in South Korea. Now, this left me in shock. I'm not gonna front and say that we were like the best of friends, but he was a good guy and we were homies. And it made me really sad because this was a guy who I admired how much positivity, I admired how much the negativity of life didn't bring him down. It didn't bother him enough. It didn't bother him enough for him to keep going. So even if I don't know the whole story of his life, I still admired him. And he was younger than me. Ain't that some shit? So I want to take this time to give my condolences to his family, to all the people that he was close with, all the people that I know for a fact feel this loss much harder than I do. Mecca and Jahari and Ron and Tony, Mike, all of you guys, I'm really sorry. I know that he was one of your brothers. Derek came when I headlined Artistic Vibes. Derek was there. we went berry picking with the group. Like it was him, me, Jahari, Mecca, Omla, Reshma, and me. I think that was just it. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. You know, when we went to the beach, it was Louis, Omla, Reshma, Mecca, Joyce, Jahari. I'm pretty sure Felix was there. I'm pretty sure Sergio was there too. Kevin, Derek. I think that was the only time that I hung out with a couple of their other friends too, like Ed, and there was at least one more. I think Michael was there too. Michael Mann. We really had some good times. We had the concert in, I believe it was 2013. I believe that one was what concert was that? I think it was 303 and Jason Derulo. Yeah, because the other one was Capital Cities and somebody else. Who came after Capital Cities? So yeah, that was 303 and Jason Derulo, I believe. Was it? I can't even remember what concert it was. But listen, man, just wanna let you know, man, you were a good guy, and I just hope it didn't hurt, because you don't deserve that. You put so much positivity into this world that if it had to happen, I just hope it didn't hurt. I hope it was quick. And my heart truly goes out to your family and all the people who love you. I know that there's too many people who are affected by this. Because that's how many people you touch. That's how many lives you touched, how many hearts you touched. And you're never going to be forgotten. Ever. So, rest in peace, brother. So I want to end this episode on a bright note. Liann set it up with some white Zinfandel. So that's basically, I've been kind of sloshed during this episode on white Zinfandel. Now, white Zinfandel is pink, so I basically just been wondering since this evening what exactly the significance of this name is. Why is it white Zinfandel? So, how about we find out? Let's look up white Zinfandel. Sounds like they didn't want anybody but white people to have it. So, white Zinfandel is a sweet pink-colored rosé. Alright, I think I see it. I think I found it. Zinfandel grapes are red, apparently, and white Zinfandel is a blush wine. It's a marketing term. Nearly all white wine is made from grapes that are red. The color in wine comes from the amount of time the skins are kept in contact with the juice after being crushed. White Zinfandel gets a short skin time, so the wine ends up pink rather than white or red. But the original white Zinfandel was a marketing term developed by a big label that's Sutter Home, who realized there was a market for sweet pink wine made from Zinfandel grapes in the 70s. Wow. That's pretty detailed. So look at that, we learned something, y'all. Once again, I want to remind y'all of the song that is coming in less than in less than 2 weeks. In 12, well, now it's the 13th. Yeah, so 11 days. It's called Reckless. It's coming Black Friday, you guys. I hope that you're ready. If you're not, you better get ready. New music coming soon. So you better be ready. Cyrex. And I'm going to announce the name is Reckless. 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 All caps, just like the others. Unfortunately, because I have the cheap plan with DistroKid. Because I have the cheap plan with DistroKid, I can't make things all caps. I mean, we'll see if in the future, but right now, no. So, once again, this is the Freak Show. We're going to end it out here. I'm Cyrex. This is episode 31. Be sure to follow Cyrex MC on YouTube, on Instagram, on SoundCloud, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Musical.ly, on Symbol. Follow me on Symbol because I'm going to be posting, y'all. So, thanks a lot for listening. And shout out to the Last Second crew, which to my understanding is like one person. Elsie, thank you for listening. Freak Rock. This is the Freak Show, you guys, and have a good night.